We begin with a Fox News alert. The Wisconsin Capitol Police are supposed to start cleaning out the Capitol building right about now so that it can be closed for cleaning. But, well, take a look for yourself. These are live pictures from inside the Capitol building. Those protesters do not look like they're going anywhere anytime soon. And some now say they will risk peaceful arrest to stand their ground. Mike Tobin joins us live once again from Madison, Wisconsin with the latest. Mike?
And we know at least one of the demonstrators on the upper decks has already resisted being cleared out. You can hear the crowd. This is at one of the entrances to the Capitol. They're chanting, "Whose house? Our house." They have been chanting, "Let us in, let us in." Now, as we just crossed the time where they're closing up the Capitol, a great cry went through this crowd. The volume increased dramatically. We know that inside they've been advised by organizers in the Capitol. People have been advised who plan on resisting to take out their contact lenses. If they're asthmatics, to have their inhalers nearby. They've also been advised that if they are handcuffed, to make a fist because it expands the size of their wrists, and therefore the handcuffs will relax when they relax their wrists. They've been schooled in different little makeshift courses and seminars throughout the last couple of days as far as how to resist and what to do if and when they're arrested. Greg?
All right, so it sounds like they want the usual civil disobedience arrests there. In the meantime, the stalemate continues. Is there any sign that either Governor Scott Walker is going to give in or the 14 Democratic senators that are still on the lam? Any idea if one of them plans to come back?
You know, it still really looks like a stalemate as far as the leaders go. Governor Walker was back on the air today, and he was talking about the fact that he's still not going to give up any ground. And you can still hear the passion in the crowd. The heckling is starting up again. The hate that you get from these demonstrators, you can see it in their faces. You can see the passion that they all come back to the same thing every time. I was getting the business from a teacher yesterday. There he goes. He wants to shut down the communication. A teacher was giving me the business yesterday, and the teacher told me she hates me because it makes her feel good. That's the situation out here, Greg.
You know, Mike, I hate to put you into this situation because you're being surrounded there, and yeah, you're being heckled, and there is profanity and vulgarity. Go ahead.
No, that guy just hit me, so they just let you know.
All right, but you know, why do they express such vitriol toward the media?
You know, I don't know what they intend to accomplish by it, but they definitely, as you can see, by covering up the cameras, they want to shut down the communication. They have an idea that there's going to be a diverse viewpoint. They don't want to get it. They don't want to hear it. They don't really take into consideration my reporting or what I've done to this point.
Stay peaceful.
I lost IAB if that's the case.
All right, Mike Tobin, tough situation for you to be in. And by the way, in just a few minutes, we're going to be talking more about the utter lack of civility and the harassment of reporters there. And we're going to keep our camera on the state capitol as apparently there may be some arrests here by police. So we're going to keep that camera on the monitor. At least half of your television screen will be covering it there.
Yeah, maybe the protester that just hit Mike Tobin.
Well, it's hard to know what's happening. We'll keep our viewers advised of what's going on there.
So now to some other news. Fast-moving developments in Libya, where the battle for control.
A Fox urgent. I'm Harris Faulkner. In Wisconsin, police telling protesters to leave the state capitol, but dozens of them remain. They've been gathering there for the past 2 weeks, demonstrating against a Republican-backed plan to strip public workers of most of their collective bargaining rights. Well, the choice right now for those protesters who at this hour have decided to defy the law is quite clear. They can leave or face getting handcuffs slapped on them. Our Mike Tobin is live for us in Madison with the latest. Mike?
Well, I can show you right now the first big showdown of this standoff is ending with kind of a round edge or a smooth edge to it. You can see that some people are walking. All right, we got one guy getting in the shot, but you can see that people are walking out of the Capitol slowly. Inside of the Capitol building, I can show you live pictures of that right now. There are about a couple dozen people inside still at this point. All of the talk about civil disobedience, things to that effect. The people have largely just left on their own accord, with the police urging them to go. The police have made it clear that they're not going to carry people out of the Capitol building. They said they're just going to encourage them to leave. They don't want to have any kind of conflict. The people inside of the Capitol building say they believe they're being cleared out to remove all of the dissent from inside of the Capitol before the governor gives his speech about the budget on Tuesday. Pardon me, this guy's making threats now. He says he's going to break my neck. But inside of the Capitol there, the demonstrators believe that they are being swept out to remove all the dissent. The Capitol Police say they are just taking the people out right now because after 2 weeks with the demonstrators saying it's staying inside, the place needs to be clean. Harris?
All right, Mike, I do want to acknowledge the fact that we want to keep you safe out there. I know from watching earlier, and again, I'm watching it happen right in front of the camera. I can't believe people do that right in front of the national camera. It got a little bit rough out there. Were you actually hit by a protester?
Yeah, I was just hit in the arm a couple of times. It's really not, I mean, with all the discussion that's on Twitter and whatnot, it was earlier, sir. Hit in the arm a couple of times. To call it assault or anything like that is a bit of an exaggeration. But, yeah, I was hit twice. All
right. Well, it's good that you're okay. I mean, the camera we couldn't see. We could only hear your voice at that time because people were trying to cover the camera. Mike Tobin with the very latest out there. We still see that live picture, a few people inside the state capitol, but as you've just pointed out, Mike, many of them are choosing to avoid arrest and go home. Mike Tobin reporting live from Madison, Wisconsin. Thank you very much.